Good afternoon and welcome back to Withrow Urban Homestead. Today is April 17th. It's 2 weeks before our last frost and it's time to sow our sunflowers. The multi-branching variety Autumn Beauty Mix. Flowers. Sunflowers are easy direct sow straight into the garden 1 to 2 weeks after your last frost. But I plan to share these free with my neighbors. I do it every year, so I'm going to start them in these 6-cell pots. These are cheap and easy to cut apart. I'm going to start more than 72 of this variety to share. Autumn Beauty Sunflowers is a mixture of a variety of colors. I bought these seeds years ago from Botanical Interests. And I've been saving my own seeds for years. The ones I grow now are from my own saved seeds. I'm planting 3 in each cell because I have plenty of seeds. Now, if you notice, I'm trying to find the plumper seeds. The really thin, flat ones are probably not viable. I'm trying to find seeds like this. But this one, it's kind of iffy. Best not to plant that one. Sunflower seeds you typically plant 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 inch deep, and these are on the smaller side, so I'm going to do about 1/4 of an inch deep. I just did a video where I sowed the big-headed mammoth sunflowers, the really tall ones. They typically get 10 to 12 feet tall. This variety is multi-branching with many flower heads. Sometimes you'll have more than 100 flowers on one plant. They get 5 to 8 feet tall. Mine have always gotten taller than 5 feet. It depends on where you plant them. Sunflowers prefer full sun. Sunflowers germinate in 10 to 21 days, depending on the temperature. They prefer a temperature of 70 to 85 degrees to germinate. And normally I start these seeds indoors under lights in the warm furnace room. Last year they germinated in only 3 days. They were really quick. So I'm starting these outside in these trays with a greenhouse dome, a clear lid. And I'm going to leave them back there in that tunnel, so I don't know how long they're going to take to germinate. I decided to try germinating them outside because next month in May, my husband Dale is going to have a liver transplant. And I didn't want to start seeds indoors this year. I'm busy prepping for the surgery, feeling overwhelmed, and taking care of baby seedlings isn't something I wanted to do. So I thought I'll try germinating them outside. Not concerned about it getting too cold because I can cover the tunnel with fleece. Now it's a cold day today, but tomorrow it's going to be 80, and Saturday it's going to be 88. So with this dome on, will the seeds get too hot? And I don't want to be opening and closing the dome. Now, they haven't germinated yet, so I'm only worried about the seeds being killed. And I researched, and it said seeds sterilized at 180 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 minutes. I doubt it's going to hit 180 in there. But if this fails, I have plenty of more seeds to sow again. Now, I wrote what variety this is with a garden marker, and later when they germinate, I'll put a tag in each cell before I put them on the free shelf. So I'm using 2 trays. The first tray that the cells are in is a mesh tray, and then that's sitting inside a hard tray that doesn't have drainage holes, but this allows me to take the mesh tray in and out for watering. And under the mesh tray, I put some slug bait because slugs love to hide in the bottom of the pots near the roots. I want to protect these from digging animals, the squirrels and the birds, skunks and the raccoons. So I have 2 trays of mammoth sunflowers, so 72 to give away. 1 tray of my own sunflower seeds, which is going to be all the variety I'm sowing, the mammoth, the autumn beauty, and dwarf sunflowers. I'll be making a video about that next. And then I have 2 trays of autumn beauty that I'm going to share with my neighbors. Now you notice the trays have been out here for a while. The humidity's already collected on the domes. That moisture will help in germination. For my sunflowers that I'm keeping, I use bigger 4-inch pots. And I separated and sowed different colors. Now the seeds I just used is just a mixture of all the different colors of sunflowers. Yellow, orange, burgundy, a dark reddish, and some variegated. A mixture of colors on the different petals. Sometimes orange on the tips, sometimes yellow in the middle. Through the years, the colors have mixed. So I sowed 3 pots of orange, 3 pots of yellow, 3 pots of burgundy. I never can remember how to spell that. And 3 pots of variegated. I do not know what happened to its lid. I do know it was a beautiful tie-dye looking flower. Now, what I don't use this year, I'll just mix together, and that's what I'll sow next year for my neighbors. Now, if you want big, full-size, tall sunflowers with lots of blossoms, you need to put them in full sun and give them plenty of space. These sunflowers need 24 to 48 inches of space. Now, the front sunflowers, the mammoth, I'm going to plant 2 feet apart because space is limited there. But the Autumn Beauty will be planted along the fence, and in these corners, I tend to give them 4 feet because their branches really reach out. If you plant your sunflowers close together, they're going to be smaller. If you plant them in partial sun, they're going to be smaller. And you can stagger your planting. I tend to plant out my sunflowers the first week of May. But you could plant them out every 2 weeks because the first ones you plant will be the first ones that finish. And the last ones you plant will be the last ones that finish. But regardless, they'll bloom all throughout the summer, and the goldfinch birds love this variety. Next video, we'll be planting these dwarf 2-foot tall sunflowers. They're for my son's memorial garden. I've never grown these before. So come back and check the progress of our various sunflowers to see if sowing them outside works. Thank you for visiting Withrow Urban Homestead. See you later. Bye-bye.